When we think about what keeps a nation's capital ticking, we usually think of roads, buildings, the big stuff. But what about the power that makes it all work? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the Islamabad Electric Supply Company, or IESCO, the company that literally keeps the lights on in the very heart of Pakistan. So, just how important is IESCO? Well, just take a look at who they supply power to. This isn't your average utility company. Nope, they are the only power provider for Parliament House, for the general headquarters of the armed forces, and for all those high-security diplomatic enclaves. Think about that. The country's entire governance and national security infrastructure, it all runs on IESCO's grid. So what is IESCO exactly? Well, officially, it's a state-owned public utility. Its job is pretty straightforward on paper. Get electricity distributed and sold not just in the capital city of Islamabad, but in all the regions around it. It was actually created back in 1998, spun off from the old system to bring a more modern, efficient approach to power distribution. Okay, now let's try to get our heads around the sheer scale of this operation. Because powering a few important buildings is one thing, but servicing millions and millions of people across thousands of square kilometers, that's a whole different ballgame. Get this, IESCO provides electricity to over 3.2 million direct consumers. But that number doesn't even tell the full story. The total population that relies on them is over 15 million people. We're talking homes, businesses, huge industrial sites, farms, just a massive, incredibly diverse customer base. And if you look at a map, their territory is just gigantic. It's all organized into 5 main areas, or circles. You've got the huge city of Islamabad itself, the major hub of Rawalpindi, and then the districts of Attock, Jhelum, and Chakwal. This area stretches from the Indus River all the way to the Jhelum River in Kashmir. It's an enormous and really varied landscape to cover. Now, with an operation that huge, you might expect it to be kind of messy or inefficient, but here's the thing. IESCO is actually seen as a benchmark, a real model for how to do things right in Pakistan. So how do they pull it off? Well, it really starts with a super clear and effective structure. A huge piece of their success is this really well-defined hierarchy. It goes all the way from the CEO at the very top, down through layers of management, right to the sub-divisional officer who's handling issues on a local neighborhood level. This clear chain of command means everyone knows their job and there's accountability from top to bottom. And you can really see that structure paying off when you look at the results. IESCO consistently nails it in 2 absolutely critical areas. First, they have the highest recovery rates, which just means they're the best in the country at collecting the money they're owed. And second, they have the lowest T&D losses. That's transmission and distribution losses. It basically means less electricity gets wasted on its way to your home. That's a huge sign of efficiency, and it saves everyone money. But this level of performance didn't just happen overnight. Not at all. IESCO's story is really a story of evolution, one that stretches back almost 100 years. And understanding that history really helps explain how they got to where they are today. This timeline tells a pretty cool story. It all started as a private company, REPCO, way back in 1923, during the time of British India. Then, in 1972, it was nationalized. Later, the modern IESCO that we know was born in 1998, designed to be more nimble and commercially minded. And then, starting in the 2010s, the focus shifted big time towards going digital and making things easier for you, the consumer. And that brings us right up to today. For most people, the biggest game changer has been this shift to digital services, which puts a whole lot of control right into your hands. So let's get practical. How does this actually affect you? Let's say you need a copy of your electricity bill, or maybe you need to file a complaint. In the old days, that meant a trip to a local office, probably waiting in line. You know how it goes. Today, it's a completely different world. Getting a copy of your bill is now this super simple 4-step process you can do right on their website. It's one of their most popular features. All you need is that 14-digit reference number from an old bill. You pop it in and boom, you can see, download, or print your latest bill right there. And this simple approach is used for everything from managing complaints to applying for a new connection. So after a century of change and a decade of digital transformation, what's the big picture? What is IESCO's legacy? And more importantly, what's next? This quote from people who analyze the industry really says it all. IESCO is widely seen as the standard bearer for all the other distribution companies or DISCOs in Pakistan.
By being so efficient and embracing technology right in the nation's capital, they've basically created a blueprint for how other utilities can and should operate.
And that leads us to the big final question. IESCO is already a leader in adopting things like solar net metering, helping push the country toward green energy. So the real question is, can this model, this combination of efficiency and forward-thinking tech, be copied elsewhere? Can IESCO's success not only power Pakistan's capital, but also light the way for a smarter, more sustainable energy future for the whole region?